The first time I met my husband's family, his mother smiled politely and said, "You'll fit in eventually." Years later, I was still waiting for eventually. By then, I had learned which conversations stopped when I entered a room, which jokes were never explained to me, and which family tradition somehow never included my opinion. It wasn't open hostility. It was something quieter, being treated like a guest in a life I had helped build. The annual family barbecue was supposed to be different. I arrived early, helped arrange the tables, carried trays of food outside, and even laughed when my brother-in-law teased me about always bringing the best desserts. For a little while, everything felt ordinary. Then it happened. I turned with a bowl of salad just as my husband's adult daughter, Claire, stepped backward while looking at her phone. We bumped shoulders, the bowl slipped slightly, but I caught it. "I'm so sorry," I said automatically. Claire spun around as if I'd shoved her. "Don't ever touch me again." The backyard fell silent. People stopped eating, conversations disappeared, every face turned toward us. I didn't mean. She took another step back. I said, "Don't touch me." Before I could gather myself, my husband looked at me with a coldness I'd never seen. "You heard her." His voice stayed calm. "Apologize to her or leave." I searched his face, expecting some sign that he knew it had been an accident. There wasn't one. No one asked what had happened. No one said they had seen it. They simply waited. I realized that if I defended myself, it would become a louder scene. If I apologized for something I hadn't done, I would be accepting a version of events that wasn't true, so I quietly placed the bowl on the table. "I hope you all enjoy the afternoon." Then I picked up my purse and walked to my car. No dramatic goodbye. No slammed doors. Just silence. The drive home felt strangely peaceful. For the first time in months, I wasn't trying to convince anyone that I belonged. That evening my phone stayed almost completely silent. One missed call from my husband. Nothing else. Around 9 o'clock, he finally called again. His voice sounded nothing like it had earlier. "You need to come home." "I don't, please." I waited. What happened? He took a long breath. My brother realized several serving dishes were missing. We checked the security cameras near the garage because we thought someone had accidentally packed them. I didn't answer. The cameras covered part of the backyard. Another long silence. They showed everything. I closed my eyes. Claire had been walking backward while looking at her phone. I had tried to avoid her. She had stepped directly into me. The recording even showed me catching the bowl before it hit her. There was no shove, no grabbing, no aggressive movement, just an ordinary accident. He continued quietly. "My mother watched it. My sisters watched it. Claire watched it. I asked the only question that mattered. And you." "I watched it too." His voice cracked. I was wrong. For a moment I remembered standing alone in that crowded backyard while everyone waited for me to admit fault. The memory hurt more than his apology helped. "What did Claire say?" I asked. "She admitted she reacted without thinking, and everyone knows. That wasn't the same thing. Knowing the truth after the damage is done doesn't erase the damage." The next morning, several family members sent messages apologizing for staying silent. One admitted she had suspected it was accidental, but hadn't wanted to challenge Claire in front of everyone. Another said she regretted saying nothing when my husband asked me to leave. Their honesty mattered, but it also revealed something painful. People had chosen comfort over fairness. My husband came home that afternoon carrying flowers. I thanked him for bringing them inside. He tried explaining that he had acted to protect his daughter. "I understand protecting your child," I said. "What I don't understand is why protecting her required assuming I was guilty before asking me one question." He had no answer. The conversation wasn't loud. Neither of us cried. There were no dramatic declarations. Just two people sitting across from each other, realizing that trust is measured most clearly in the moments when facts are still unknown. Over the following weeks, Claire apologized in person. She admitted she had been embarrassed after stumbling backward and had reacted defensively before thinking. I believed she regretted it. I forgave her. Forgiveness, however, wasn't the difficult part. Rebuilding confidence in my marriage was. Months later, another family gathering was planned. This time, my husband asked whether I wanted to attend. It was the first time he had asked instead of assumed. I looked at him for a long moment. If I come, I said, I need to know that if something confusing happens again, you'll stand beside the truth, not the loudest voice. He nodded slowly. I understand now. Maybe he did. Maybe understanding arrived too late. Either way, something had permanently changed. I eventually attended another barbecue. People greeted me warmly. Conversations didn't stop when I walked over. Claire hugged me before anyone else arrived. The day passed without incident. But I noticed something different. I no longer attended because I needed their acceptance. I attended because I had decided my own dignity no longer depended on it. That quiet change, more than any apology, became the real turning point.